Hey everybody, it's me, Sean Dietless79, shooting from weird angles today because I've got the camera on the table and I'm going to show off the Sega MegaPi. This is a Raspberry Pi that I've put inside of a Sega Mark I. I'm going to put some pictures over things so people can just see some reference here, so I'm not just talking into empty space while the camera's pointed at the television. But I've pretty much taken the shell of a Sega Genesis / Mega Drive Model 1. This is the Mark II, though. It doesn't have the high-definition graphics going around it, which sucks because this thing does HDMI. That would have made this even better, but maybe I could see if about repro labels or something, or hand-painted in, one or the other. Pretty much board was fried. Somebody gave me a power supply. Did not know that its amperage, it didn't have an amperage written on it, and it was a very high amperage board, and it just, adapter, and it pretty much just fried the Pi. And, the Genesis, sorry. The Pi is fine, I should say. Fried the Genesis. Components are still salvageable enough that I looked at it one day, and I looked at the Pi, I liked the little plexiglass case it was originally in when I was just test bedding the Pi itself. But I thought it needed a bit of pizzazz, and I see where people threw theirs into Nintendo, and I was like, do I have a video game system I can put it in before I even, finish my sentence? I remembered I have a Sega Genesis. I kind of ripped out the back of it a bit there to do a couple things to it in the past, but it gave me an opportunity where to put the proper AV ports to on it, and so I've actually put them to the right. It's just a Raspberry Pi, USB power supply, a 4-port USB hub with one internal. I tried using a USB refit, a USB refit I did on a original Xbox DVD kit remote dongle. I miniaturized it down, worked fine, but I was doing some soldering and accidentally dropped a big blob of it of solder right on the microcontroller. So yeah, I ruined it. But the Pi, you can hook the sensor for it, which I already desoldered and extended with the wire, directly onto the Pi, its GPIO sockets. There are 3 pins on there that correspond to the 3 pins on an infrared device. Anyway, so pretty much that's all it is. It's very basic, very easy to use. Coolest thing is, it's not just thrown inside a shell and a couple fancy things are done. Power switch works. So is the volume slider, but only for a headphone. I thought about doing it for the actual audio video out, but I may still. But it only really works towards the 8 to 10 range of the volume, so I'd have to put in a preamp and a bigger power supply to power that preamp as well. So anyway, I have this overclocked 950. This has an overclock kit on it, heatsink and fan, as I've shown. No modifications done to the Pi itself, nothing even soldered onto it. I can technically just unscrew the Pi from the 2 screw mans I have it stuck in with, and just swap it out if the Pi were to fry. I can just put in a new Pi. Anyway, so we're here in the menu. I'm going to show off. I'm going to be doing a video on this soon. This is a very easy thing to do. This is script writing, and you just write a couple scripts that allow you to execute programs or just shortcuts. In this case, the top one's the Raspbian shortcut, so I can boot. I can have the Pi move into open the GUI or the graphic user interface of Raspbian, which is LXDE, or I can boot into the XBMC distro that's running on. Not really a distro, no, sorry, it's a program, it's an app. But just to show that it's a Genesis, I'm gonna play a game. I think, I'm in the mood for, oh, bastard! Dick! I don't like these controllers nearly as much as you'd think. They don't feel quite the same as Super Nintendo controller, for the most part. Oh, I've gone too far. You know what? Fuck it. Let's put on, Sonic & Knuckles. I've disabled, the menu sounds for, the Raspberry Pi. But here we go. Now there's a filter actually being put on top of the video here right now. It's an interlacing filter that simulates interlacing on an HD TV, so it actually makes it look more like a classic television, even some of the discoloring that you would encounter from other televisions. But anyway, plays fine. I'm using the Super Nintendo USB controller. if that's in frame or not, but yeah, it works quite fine. I've got games on here from other systems I'm not going to bore you with right now, until I get into a more... Ah, you son of a bitch. Get into a more, I guess you could say, in-depth videos further on in the series, because some systems are going to require some extra attention to get a lot of things working, because CD-based systems need things like a BIOS. So now some non-CD-based systems also need a BIOS, like the Neo Geo, and they just work with the zip file for the BIOS in the same directory. I know I'm saying a lot. I'm trying to play the game at the same time. Now, I haven't really played Sonic & Knuckles, so you know what? Let's get at this. I'll show off a couple more games as I talk. I'm still working on getting the infrared working. I'm actually also going to try to work on getting this to work with XBMC. Should be fine enough for remote, but for the times you want to go wireless and use the universal remote, yeah. Anyway, let's actually... Ah! No! 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 No. That one. Let's go down. Alright, here it is. Magical Chase. For the PC Engine. Well, I'm going to show this up just for a minute. The controller feels fine enough for games like this. Let's turn it up a bit, though the volume isn't quite as loud as I'd like it. I loved the TurboGrafx. Actually, my cousin had one I got to play fairly often whenever I'd visit, and he had the Turbo CD, so I got to actually play Fighting Street back in the day as well, and I found it slow because at the same time there was a local business that had the first Street Fighter game, the arcade version. Mind you, it was in a conversion cab, but it was a game, and I need money. Anyway, yeah, so I got to play the TurboGrafx a lot, and oh yeah, it displays it quite fine. Wow, I never noticed that before. I've never paused this game. I've went until I got killed. Let's get out of this. I haven't found a purpose for the reset button yet, and I'm probably going to configure it so it does do that. I hit the reset and exit so I don't have to have the keyboard hooked up full time. I'm still learning a few things to put this in. This is a work in progress. So I've showed off video games. Let's actually show off XBMC working now. This is going to boot in XBMC. And, I have no files locally on the Pi for media. It's all network play. I kind of screwed up my my Ethernet cable that I had made that extended a socket. I think simply I didn't wire up the right pinouts. What I ended up doing is just for now running the cord directly in, and later on when I get everything fixed up I'll have a proper port and that on here. It's mostly prototyped right now. I might even get a better case yet. This is more or less just me trying to find out how things work. Let's go show a movie for a minute. I showed a little bit of Star Wars in the reveal, but I just want to show, you know, the capability of this thing running 1080p. It's quite a formidable machine. I've got to throw a few things into the interface. I found a YouTuber, and I'm going to shout that YouTuber at the video where I show how to do it, how to have the Pi sped up. And these are all my HD movies, so let's just go down here. Let's just see now. It's a bit slow too because it's updating apps, like the Daily Show app just updated. Yeah, let's just show off the new Star Trek movie. Why not? There are a couple things I have to do to speed up the Pi. There are a couple things I can disable in the interface and things like that, and use a couple little tricks. Now, the good thing about XBMC is I'm using the keyboard, and the plus minus keys up by the backspace actually work the volume. Spacebar, pause and play. For jump ahead, I think it's the... Yes, I can jump ahead back and forth with the directional keys. A lot of people, what they do for an XBMC-based Pi is if they're just using the interface where they just want a small tactile control, they just usually get a number pad, USB. And because all the controls you really need for the Pi for XBMC are on it. But anyway, so yeah, it's playing this video without breaking a sweat. It's quite fine. I'm going to show you now. Alright, so my focus isn't that good, but let's pull out of here a bit so the focus is a bit good. I got to touch up the paint a bit. Back here, I got to putty this out and sand it down a bit properly. This is roughly plastic welded. I've put the AV ports in here. There are lines running through this. I don't have this open. I'm going to do an open, detailed look at this one. This is totally done, but roughly the Pi is here. There's a hub here. The original board for this is here, and I've got wires ran off it for the power for the power switch for the USB power supply, which is a Samsung cell phone charger, is right here with proper actual wall cord going off it. No wall warts for me, please. I had the Wi-Fi and the infrared here, but I'm actually going to just have the infrared ran off the Pi directly, save on power as well. And I'm going to run the Wi-Fi off of this hub now, because that negating that part there for the infrared opens up a hub. This is probably going to be, as I said, a reset for exiting games, not a full-on reset. I haven't put the LED, and it's in here, but it's not hooked up because I've been opening this up and closing it. Right here, I simply just cut out the divider because I got rid of the board. Now I may put the ports back in when I get the GPIO, controller module for this, so you can use Super Nintendo controllers, but as well you can use Genesis controllers. I've saved the board, so the DB9 ports are still there. I can learn, but for now I haven't hot glued anything in. I'm just more prototyping and test bedding. So these are in just kind of screw retention with the board, and the HDMI port is through here, which I've made use of the actual cover to hide it when I'm using it in analog mode. But yeah, breathe, Sean. When I have this integrated for things and the remote working, I'll negate needing to use a keyboard full time for this. I do have a keyboard and mouse for it because Open Arena and a few other things are going to go on this, so I can have some old school first person shooters running on this. Because this actually has a fork of DOSBox on it. So yeah, which would be pretty cool. And I'll be hooking it up to this for stuff like that, because I'll be running a lot of stuff in Tandy mode and capturing through this. Can't wait for that. Oh, the nostalgia. And I'm hooking that son of a bitch up to it too if I'm doing that. If I'm playing Tandy, I'm playing with everything old school I can. Anyway, Dial79 signing out. You'll be updated as this thing progresses, and hope you liked it. And if you liked it, you can share it. If you want to share it, do that and more. Alright, thanks guys.